What's going on, guys? Welcome to the podcast. Appreciate everybody coming in today. I'm Nathan Roshan with All Aware. We got Echo Hotels, my co-host today, and we got Flat Earth Dave on the program tonight, and he's going to enlighten us into a little bit of a thing that a lot of people are not sure what to believe. There's things floating around about the Earth flat, about the Earth being round, about the Earth being a spherical uh oblonged blob. There's all kinds of different theories going around, but Echo actually turned me on to you. I think it's a few years ago, Dave. I saw you on something I was watching. Can't even remember now, and I forgot all about it until Echo brought it to my attention again. He said, "Hey, man, you should see this Man in America show with Dave." So I watched that. It was an awesome episode.
Dude, it
And
was
I was like,
awesome. 3 hours long.
yeah, yeah. So I'm like, we gotta have him on, on our program. And thank you, Echo, for sending that over to. So I guess just to start off, Dave, if I can just kind of lead you in here. From what I know, when you first started,
Yeah,
you did not think the Earth was flat, right? You actually were out to prove that it was round.
we
And am I right there? Can
we
you
all have
kind
the
of enlighten
exact
us?
same story. No, we all grew up thinking the Earth is a globe. Um, we're convinced that the idea of flat Earth is ridiculous, so ridiculous that we refuse to look into it. And only those of us that have the courage to look in and are able to put their ego down find the truth. But the thing is, there's no evidence of a globe, but we all say, oh, there's tons of evidence of a globe and no evidence of flat Earth. The opposite is true. The opposite is true, and we can go through all the points today. And the bottom line, what I want to say, I'll toss it back to you, is flat is not a shape, right?
Yeah.
It's not like, well, it could be square, it could be pyramid. Well, you know what? Flat is not a shape. We live on a topographical, level, non-rotating, non-moving, horizontal plane. Period. Scientifically testably, provably true in 1,000 different ways. And once you wrap your head around that, everything changes.
So when you say flat Earth, you're not like literally meaning it's a flat ball, or not, actually wouldn't be a ball, but a flat plane of dirt just floating around in space, right? There's some other theories behind the actual term, because flat Earth, if you could clarify that, a lot of people use it in different ways. When you say flat Earth, what does that mean to you?
Well, when you Google flat Earth, you get what they want you to see, right? That's not what I'm trying to show you. Let me just get rid of that for a second. There we go. 1 second. So when you Google flat Earth, you end up with seeing a pancake in space, right? We're not a pancake in space. Here we go. This is what I'm trying to show you. This is what shows up, right? This is ridiculous. If this is what flat Earth would be, I am an idiot. Okay, I'm a total fool, right? But this is what they want you to believe, and when you believe that, why look any further? And why even entertain somebody that thinks this is where we live? Why don't you go to the edge? Why don't you jump off the edge? Why don't you go, well, cats would have pushed everything off the edge? I mean, there's a million jokes and strawmans that like, if the Earth is a globe, why don't you give us one globe proof? I offer 3 Bitcoins. Anyone listening? 3 Bitcoins, 1 globe proof. That's all you got to do. One globe proof.
I told Nathan that. I was like, you know what? We got to get him on because, I mean, he literally offered 3 Bitcoins for anybody that could prove him
Tell you what,
otherwise.
for you guys, 6 Bitcoins, right? This is not flat Earth, right? This isn't a lie. This is a double lie. You have the fake heliocentric solar system and the fake flat Earth. Mix 2 fake models together, and you have complete and total nonsense. Right. But this is what they want you to believe. Flat earthers believe that we could fall off the edge, that other planets are round and we're flat. No, we don't believe any of that. Right. And then whenever mainstream does an article, does something, they make fun of flat Earth. They show, look, this is a flat Earth and the edge. It's a turn up, it's got dirt underneath it. Right. Again, ridiculous straw man. Why do they have a straw man? So here's the thing I like to ask. Either both of you guys, I'm not going to call you flat earthers. I'm going to call you, I think you know the earth isn't a globe. Is that fair?
Globe? I think it's something that resembles a spherical object, but not exactly the ball that they show us from NASA images and stuff. I agree with all that stuff.
We live on the outside of a sphere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, hold on. Let me jump in real quick too, because up until about 7 years ago, Dave, I mean, I believed everything that we were taught in school, and it wasn't until I woke up to the fact that we've all been lied to about everything. That
everything actually, Echo, everything.
Oh,
the correct answer is yes, everything.
to me, everything. I mean,
that's true. I'm just kidding.
Literally, I mean, from 1871 on with the District of Columbia, we've been lied to about everything. But I'm open to other ideas now. I'll leave it at that. I told Nathan a couple of days ago. I literally was born on the weekend that landed on the moon, or supposedly landed on the moon. Now, I'm to the point now where I even question that. So I was one of those guys who was rah, we landed on the moon. And now I'm just like, maybe we didn't even do that. So that's kind of, that's why I really wanted to have you on, because I really enjoyed Man in America, and I wanted to see more of the evidence.
Right. So here's the moon lander, and they got the rocket engine under here that left no blast crater in all of the dust. Okay. So the moon lander is about to take off, and there's two guys in there. Where's the rocket? The engine's down there. So what did it do? It just exploded like a shotgun, and it's going up there, and then the skeet is going to come and it's going to meet. It's literally, they're skeet shooting. That's what they must be doing. You got two grown men in there without chairs. So anything they do, any movement is going to make that thing spin out of control, and it's going to meet the orbiter going 1,000, 2,000 miles an hour, whatever it's doing. It's going to meet and dock and then come back to Earth. It's going to eject itself out of the lunar orbit. Where's it going to get all the speed to get back to Earth? Okay. Every single thing about the moon landing is retarded. It's ridiculous, stupid, just completely asinine, right? Especially like you go to this is the moon lander, right? Look at this thing. Yep. This thing it's horrible. Look at this. I mean, if they sheetrocked your basement like this, you would be it would require a full refund. Look at this. Right?
I literally saw that at the Smithsonian in DC with my son in 2017.
Yep.
And that's right about the time I woke up, and I was looking at it like, this thing looks like it's made out of tinfoil. How did it do anything?
Here's Armstrong's boots, flat, and then somehow on dry powder without any moisture, they leave a perfect boot print with lines in it. And the Globies go, well, they wore over booties. They wore moon boots over their LL Bean boots. Okay. Absolute stupid insanity. This is Japan. The Japanese Earth rise. Look at this. Do you believe this? Okay, this is recent. And the dark spot is the lunar eclipse, the solar eclipse. Okay, because the sun's behind us. And this is just mockery over mockery. And then if you look at Apollo 9, 11, and 12, it's the same picture. The clouds never changed. Okay.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
There's so many things to look at with the moon landing, but this one is going to get you. Ready? This one's going to get you. So the sun is off to the side behind this guy. His shadow's going out. So I'm panning to the right, panning to the right, panning to the right, panning to the right. And here he is. Look, his shadow's kind of like, now the sun's kind of in front of him. It's not over there anymore. It's not over there anymore. And I'm panning to the right, panning to the right. Look, the sun's now on the other side. The sun's now over here. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lights, yeah.
And so you zoom in on this and watch this. So in his helmet, you see the reflection in his helmet? This is a reflection of the studio lights. Ready? As he turns. Ready? What? You can see two of them right now. 1, 2. There's only one light source up there, and that's the sun. And then when he turns, it might be the same two lights again. I'm not sure how the reflection works, right? Right? Maybe it's something like this, you know? Maybe these are the lights,
Yeah.
right? And that's all we're seeing. Okay. The first thing I showed you, the launch of the lander and the panning up of the camera. How did they do that? Who panned up? Right? If you asked Owen Benjamin, he said they left Tyrone shoelaces on the roof on the moon. He's filmed it and then tossed them the film somehow. Okay. I mean, it's so stupid when you.
That's a good point. Who panned up? Who's standing on the moon panning up, taking that shot?
Thank you.
Yeah, they obviously did it in the studio. I mean, it's yeah, we obviously.
But I used to, when I first heard about it, I'm like, that's because there's aliens on the moon and they don't want us to see the real technology and we're hiding.
I thought that too.
And there's 400,000 people living on the other side of the moon and all this nonsense. I don't even want to say I believe that because that's kind of embarrassing. And then you have to believe that they paid like $42 million back in 1970 for this. Look at this: beach chairs, an umbrella. Okay, there's duct tape holding the bumper together, right? How do you inflate a tire in a vacuum? What is the purpose of this? They just went dune buggying around. This is the dumbest thing ever, right? And somehow this was in that LEM I just showed you in the lander.
Yeah, how'd they get that there? That thing's huge.
It folds up, but someone did an analysis of it. That's the chassis of a Jeep. It's literally exactly the same as a chassis of a Jeep, right?
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then we have the moonrise from the Earth, from the Earthrise from the moon. Crank it in Photoshop. Why is there a box around there? Why is there a square box like it was cut and pasted in? And they never realized that we would have Photoshop, right? Right.
Yep.
And then
that makes sense. Yeah.
There's so many things. Like there was 3 guys went to the moon. 2 of them went down. 1 of them stayed in the orbiter. This guy stayed in the orbiter, right? So he's got paper. Interesting. And why does he throw it in the air just to show, oh, look, I'm in space? Who pans up? What? How did it pan up? There's no one else on the spaceship with him. And why did he do that? Because then he has to go get it. Why didn't he stick it in the pocket where it belongs? Right? He just did that. And it panned up. Oh, we're in space. We're in space. Isn't that cool? I mean, people are so easily fooled, right? So here, ready? I'm on the ISS now. I'm floating. I'm in the cupola. Let me look outside and see the Earth. Oh, wow. Whoa, look at that. Amazing. This is my budget zero. Yeah, my budget's zero. Woo, look at these lights. Whose lights are that bright? Okay, give me a break. This is just airplane footage coming in for a landing at Kennedy, and they're wrapping it around a sphere, right? And when you look at this, when you're watching something coming towards you and you're going fast, the stuff in the distance is moving very slow. And on the sides, and then as it gets closer, it moves faster. But all of this is moving the same speed. All of it. This and this is moving the same speed. That shows you that this is a small little model. Whatever it is that they're doing, it's small, it's fake, it's not real. And there you go. So, had enough of the moon landing yet?
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah. It's
all right. So let me ask you guys.
It's out there.
Now, you guys don't know it, or you know it. You're just not ready to admit it. You guys are flat earthers. But let me ask you a question. So here's a ball. Does this ball have curvature?
Yeah,
obviously, it has curvature in all directions. So the globe, oblong, pear shape, doesn't matter. Globe, if it's a ball of any sorts, any lumpiness, it has curvature. Do you know anyone in history, or have you ever measured the Earth's curvature? Do you know anyone in history that has, or have you measured axial rotation? And the answer is no and no. Do you know anyone in history, or have you ever seen an experiment done an experiment in a lab or in nature where you have high pressure gas adjacent to lower pressure gas or no pressure gas, a vacuum, without a physical barrier? Answer is no, you don't, because it's never happened. Those 3 things are absolutely necessary if we live on a globe in a space vacuum, and none of them have ever been observed. And every time they try to do an experiment over all of history, it has always come out the opposite, that it's not rotating, that there is no curvature, right? I'm going to show you a photo that was taken just recently, and this is it. We can end the podcast right after this, okay? So we're done, and this is amazing. So from this mountaintop, we can see all these little white peaks out here. These are all different mountains. It's not like we see one mountain and you can go, well, that's a cloud. It looks like a mountain. All of these tops are in the right position, the right shape, and the size and everything match with all of these mountains. 700 miles. Subtracting the height of the observer, because you have to use the globe calculator, using their calculations, the top of this mountain should be over 40 miles below a physical curvature. We can see them. Do you want to know what the science community says about this photo?
What do they say?
Absolutely nothing. They won't even acknowledge that it exists because there is no explanation for it other than, there's two explanations. One, the Earth is flat. Or two, the Earth is 100,000 times bigger than they're telling us. Because even at 100,000 times, there would be curvature. So
that's where I come from. I think it's that. I think it's way bigger than they're telling us.
But it would have to be. So check this out. If the Earth was 100,000 times bigger than they're telling us, that means there's a lot more land, 100,000 times more land. Okay.
Exactly.
And all right, I'll take it. But show me the curvature. There still is no curvature. Okay. The reason we can't see England from New York is because there's nothing big enough. But the real reason is the atmosphere becomes opaque over distance. That's it. It just becomes opaque and you can't zoom in beyond it. You can't zoom in through opaqueness. Now, when we have the horizon, the sky and the horizon the ground come together, when it meets, that forms a horizontal plane of the vision of your eyes. That's the zone that your eyes can see. So what do we put those words together? It's a horizontal eye zone.
Yeah. But with our vision, we can't see that far, right? I mean, I know. The point I was getting at, when you look into the distance, things get smaller and smaller and smaller, and perspective pushes everything into an apparent horizon. The clouds at 5,000 or 10,000 feet over your head, 20 or 30 miles in the distance, they're at your eye level. They look like they're at your eye level, but they're still 20,000 feet 5 or 10,000 feet in the sky, but they become your horizon. So anything above them that goes beyond them will disappear because it's above your eye level. But so it goes down due to perspective and it just disappears like that. But anything on the ground, since we're on the ground, we're below that atmospheric deck, we can zoom in and bring it back into vision. For example, here's we got an empty horizon here. Now we're zooming in. There's no boat out here, but as we zoom in and we increase the angular size, all of a sudden you can go, oh, look, there's a boat. Now, did I zoom over the curve or I just zoomed it back into our visual range? Now, watch, can my finger hide that whole boat? Nope. But if my finger was a little wave in the foreground, it could hide the whole boat. So these little waves here can hide cities because the city gets smaller and smaller and smaller. The wave's still close to you. So a 6 foot tall person standing at the edge of perfectly calm, glassy water, like the calmest of calm, without any perfectly flat water like this. Okay, let's pretend this is the ocean. The ocean's literally this flat. According to the Pythagorean theorem, globe math, there should be a 6 foot drop at 3 miles. 6 foot drop in just 3 miles, according to 24,901 miles around. Okay. That means that a 6 foot tall person standing up cannot see the surface of the water beyond 3 miles because it's behind a physical curve. Now, if there's any ripples in that water, any wind, any swells, or any atmospheric fog, that horizon can only get closer. It can't get farther. If you sit down, it's 1.2 miles away, maybe 2 miles away, whatever, right? The lower you are, the closer your horizon is. But we can see things
that are way too far. We can see things, and we can see the surface of the water way beyond where they want us to, where we can see things way beyond where we're supposed to see. For example, this is this famous shot called the Black Swan. There should be 9.4 miles of curvature. Oh, no, 59 feet of curvature at 9.4 miles with the cameras 1 foot above the water. But we can not only see the platform, we can see the water way beyond the platform. At the platform, there should be 59 feet missing. Now, people, well, the platform might be a little condensed by atmospheric compression, but we can still see the surface of the water. That's a problem. It's a huge problem. Okay, there is no curvature. And when you do the math on how far we can see things, the size of the Earth has to be, if it's a globe, is ridiculous, like 100,000 times the size. That's ridiculous, right? And then you also have to believe in, water sticking to a ball, right? If I had my hand here and I had an iron skillet, let's say it weighs 10 pounds. That's a heavy skillet. Make it 5 pounds. Okay. And so I have the skillet resting on my fingers and I want to press it up against my hand. How much pressure do I need to put to lift a 5 pound skillet and hold it to the bottom of my hand? Easy. 5 pounds. 4 pounds of pressure, it won't get there. I can put 6 pounds of pressure and it'll be pressed against it, but 5 pounds is the minimum to hold it there. What about a 10 pound skillet? How much pounds of pressure do I need to put up? Minimum of 10 pounds. Minimal of 10 pounds. Anything less, it's not going to reach my hand, right? With me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So if the Earth is a globe and we have hundreds of quadrillions of tons of water on the bottom, how much pressure would be needed to hold 100 trillion tons of water?
Equal amount.
How could you survive that much pressure? We'd all be dead. Gravity's a lie. Gravity's a theory.
Yeah, that was my next question. Is gravity? What are your thoughts on that then?
So I'm sure you've heard the buoyancy and density argument, because buoyancy and density are true whether gravity is true or something else is true. So gravity is a made up theory. They say it's a theory. They know it's not proven. It's never been proven. And it's so wrong that they have to put in 96 or 97% dark matter and dark energy. Hey, our gravitational model's not working. So we're going to make up dark matter and dark energy because it has to be there, or our model doesn't work. Or maybe your model just doesn't work. But they made up dark matter, dark energy. Everyone's like, well, it has to be there because without gravity, there's no evolution, there's no planets, there's no orbits, there's no nothing. And so therefore, dark matter is real. That's called retarded scientism. Okay. So what is causing things to go down? Well, the electrostatic force is actually not a theory. It's an actual force. It can be measured, right? It can be measured. Now, the Earth has a neutral or negative charge. The sky, everything above the ground, is in a positive charging field. And there is a measurable downward flow of electricity, the electrostatic flow into the Earth, positive to negative. We all learned that they attract each other. And so that electrostatic flow says, hey, this is down. And then buoyancy and density sort everything else out. So let me, so if I had a handful, I'm over a pool and I got a handful of marbles, ping pong balls, and a helium balloon. I open my hand. The helium balloon is going to go up because it's less dense than the air. The marbles and ping pong balls are going to go down because they're more dense in the air. The marbles will sink to the bottom of the pool because they're more dense than the water. And the ping pong balls will stay on the top of the water because they're less dense. But what said down? Well, it's either gravity, the Earth pulling everything to the center. I don't know why it doesn't pull things to other. Who designated the atom, the molecule, whatever, at the center of the Earth to say, I'm the center, everything come towards me? What about halfway between the center? Why doesn't everything say, come towards me? Wouldn't all the atoms be fighting to have everything come towards them if gravity was real? It's your brain can't figure it out because it's retarded. Okay. And you go, well, I can't figure it out, so I have to trust a guy in a bow tie who's a failed comedian. Okay. So the electrostatic flow or gravity? Well, electrostatics can be tested. Let's take a look. Right. So we got some leftover helium balloons. we got a string going down to this bottle cap. It's not a bottle cap. It's like a button or something. And we taped it to the end of this wire, which goes to a Van de Graaff generator. The Van de Graaff generator, as we crank it up, it adds a positive charge. When we add a positive charge, watch the button carefully. Do we make it heavier or do we make it more positively charged? The ground's not going anywhere. It has a stronger bond, so it became heavier because of its stronger charge. If you look at the periodic table, the lightest elements to the heaviest elements, each one has one more positive charge. The heavier it is, the stronger the positive charge. Steel has a higher positive charge than helium, way higher, because helium goes up. Okay.
Right.
So can we do the opposite? Can we check the other? Well, tinfoil, and we add a negative charge to it. And as long as we keep that negative charge in, it repels. Did we defy gravity or are we defying the electrostatic force? Right? One more thing. Right? So this is MIT has created the silent drone. It looks like a milk crate and it flies. No moving parts, no noise, maybe a little electric hum. And they're just changing the electrostatic charge of this thing and it flies. Huh. Are they defying gravity or are they defying electrostatics? One last thing. They say, they say gravity is a weak force, right? Gravity, not right. Our science book tells us gravity is very weak. Okay. It's a very weak force, right? But it can hold water to a spinning ball and a space vacuum and hold air to a void of space. It's retarded. But then they say the electrostatic force is actually very strong next to gravity. You know how much stronger it is in gravity? This isn't science. These are the globalists. They get caught in their own lies. They say the electrostatic force is 10 to the 36 power stronger. That's 10 with 36 zeros. Your brain, my brain, all brains cannot conceive of that number. I actually think the number is bullshit. Okay. But this is what they say. So if I was in your studio right now and I took a hammer, an actual hammer, and I just tapped it on your head very lightly, you'd be like, ow, no, not hard enough to give you a bump. Okay. What if I made it 10 times harder? Probably hurt. What if I did it 1,000 times harder? You'd be dead. My hammer would go right through your head. What if I did it 1,000,000 times farther? I think might blow the walls out in the thing. What if I did it 1,000,000,000 times harder? I think there'd be an explosion. What if I did it 1,000,000,000,000 times harder? It might be like a nuclear bomb went off. Okay. But you can't even fathom, right? 10 to the 1,000 million billion trillion. So that's 12, 13, 10 to the 13th power, or 10 to the round up, 10 to the 15th power. That's 1 trillion. You have to add all the zeros again to get out the 10 to the 36. So if they're telling us the electrostatic force is a number so ridiculous and it's stronger than gravity, let's pretend gravity's real. When I drop this, who the heck is going to say gravity did that when the electrostatic force it kicks gravity's ass every single time? Again, these things are so stupid that your brain can't process them, and you give up. You go, I have to trust the textbook. The Rockefellers wrote it, and they want for my well-being. They don't want me to be a good worker and a slave. They want me to be an independent thinker and free, right? So I have to believe that. Okay.
Yeah. See, I believe everything you say, and I'm with you 100%, except for the flat Earth thing. I'm still trying to get around that.
I know it's because our whole life as a child, as an infant, everything that we watch is globe. There's globes everywhere. There's globes in the schoolroom. The first worksheet they give us is the orbits of the planets and the moon and the sun. That's literally one of the first sheets they give us, right? Yep. And they're like, the flat Earth, this is the flat Earth and this is the globe Earth, right? And they say this is freaking crazy. Okay. Right. And I mean, they still do that. And then what are your favorite movies? Star Wars, Star Trek, and Battlestar Galactica, right? It's everything is space. Lost in Space when I was a kid. Star Trek, right?
Star Trek, yeah.
Star Trek. I literally just watched the Star Trek movie the other day. I liked it.
I forget.
Okay. But it's so stupid. It's so dumb. I just like saying, I don't know. I guess I was kind of burnt out. And it's so dumb. So if you believe the Earth is a globe and can't come up with one reason, you're in a religious cult. If you come up with a good reason, I'll let you out of that cult. I'll give you 3 Bitcoins. 6 Bitcoins.
Yeah, so we had 3 for each of us, right? We got
No, whoever comes up with it, the other person gets 6, and you're not allowed to share.
Oh man,
yeah,
I like that one, man.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Hey, so I get what you're saying, and like with Nathan, that the thing that throws me off is when you look up in the sky. You're looking. I mean, I've got a telescope in the backyard. You're looking at a ball. I mean, how do we get around that? And I don't think we ever got to the bottom of what the Earth actually is, because I know there's been people that said they sailed around the world. You know, went from Australia to Australia. If that's the case, are they running into an ice ball? Or I mean, I know that's 2 different questions, but kind of what's going on with those 2?
Yeah. So let me just go here. So when we're looking, we can see a certain distance all the way to our horizontal eye zone, and that's the limit of our vision. So we see in the same distance in all directions, right? And so if we flip this down, guy standing here, it's whether it's 10 miles, 30 miles, whatever, to your horizon, it's the same distance to all of these points, right? And then if we draw a line across it, we see curvature. Is that spherical curvature or just the curvature of our zone of vision on the ground? All right. And it's just our zone of vision on the ground. Okay. So put your head in the middle of a hula hoop at eye level, and that's the limit of your vision. That's not a sphere. It's a flat plane, but it's curved for your vision. And then look up and around, and every point you can only see so far, and that creates a dome of vision. And that's how we see the world in what we call our azimuthal dome of vision, or our personal dome of vision. Okay. So I'm going to get to circumnavigation in a second, but in an airplane, if you're flying from Germany, so Germany's over here, right? So the plane is right here, and the plane is looking, my fingertips is the front of the window of the plane, and I'm looking at the horizon over there, and I see a star on the horizon. If I fly down to Brazil, that star is now over my head, right? Because I went halfway down the ball. That star that was on the horizon should be over my head, right? You with me?
Right.
So this is this is a time lapse from Germany to, I believe, Brazil. And we're looking at these stars. They're not rising up. This is extended time lapse, super fast. Okay, they're not rising up. Now, if we go on Google Earth and said, let's simulate flying, we see all these stars rising up, just like because you're diving over a ball, right? All these stars are appearing to rise up, right? This is a simulation that Google wants you to think happens. But when we look at reality, it doesn't happen. That's a problem.
Because that's the view I get from my backyard every night. It goes across the sky. It never goes right above my head. It always goes across the sky.
Well, it depends on your latitude. It depends on your latitude. Right. You know, everything rotates around the North Star. North Star never moves. Well, 2,000 years ago, it was Steuben, and it's going 2,000 years will be another bullshit. Okay. The North Star never moves. Okay. All of the stars rotate around it. The Georgia Guidestones prove that. That's why they blew them up. And there's no possible way that it could be otherwise. So let me just say, I was trying to look for something and I'm spacing out what it was. This is have you heard of the 3-body problem?
No.
The 3-body problem is, you take a supercomputer and you say, okay, I got a sun, it's got this much gravity, and I got a planet, it's this size, this distance, and I put it into a simulated orbit, and that computer will figure out where it's going to be every second of every day for the next million years. Okay. Right. Then you add in either a moon going around that or another planet going around the sun, and you run into what's called the 3-body problem. These are 3 equal sized bodies. So this makes it even easier. If they were different sizes, it'd be totally screwed up. But then there's little gravitational tugs on each other, and then everything goes into pure chaos mode, and no computer can figure out what it's going to do next. That's 3 bodies. Are there more than 3 bodies in our galaxy? Do you know how many bodies? Yeah, there's like hundreds in our solar system. They say that Jupiter now has 68 moons or whatever. Okay. And somehow it's more accurate than a quartz watch. Okay. The sky is more accurate than a quartz watch. The impossibility of a solar eclipse with the sun being 400 times bigger and 400 times farther than the moon. They happen to look like they're the same size and they line up. The chances of that happening are like winning, the mega lotto, but you have to pick like 75 numbers out of 1,000,000 numbers and get them all right. Okay. I mean, it's ridiculous. But then another eclipse happened, and another eclipse happened. And after 18 years, the entire pattern of eclipses happens again and again. They repeat every 18 years. Does that sound like a random gravitational model, or does that sound like a precise timepiece? Precise timepiece.
So why do you think that is? Like, what do you think that is then?
What do you think the sky is?
I mean, yeah. What do you think? I mean, are we in a simulation? Like, what is the reason why they would be lying to us about the shape, about the space, about I mean, you've seen they've got videos out there now that people are showing glitches in the Matrix or whatever, right? Where there's a bird that's just sitting there in the sky, it's not moving.
That's some cool stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the lunar wave that
the lunar wave crow.
Yeah. I just learned about the lunar wave the other day. I had no idea up until Echo showed me, and I went and looked it up. I'm like, oh my god, what is that? So I mean, there's obviously crap going on.
Yeah, there's obviously crap going on. I think, and there's people that we're in a simulation. It's computer code. That's it. I think we're in a physical simulation. I think we're in a created place. We're part of this place. We can't survive off of this plane of existence because this is where we're electrical beings and we're connected to this electrical earth. I don't believe that we can survive. Well, space isn't real. I don't believe that we can survive up there. Back when I was a kid, they were doing altitude test flights. And when they interviewed the pilots, they were like, yeah, I lost consciousness. I could see through, excuse me. I could see through my eyelids. They were saying all crazy stuff, right? Because their brains stopped working up there. It was like bizarre, right? And I think that has something to. I mean, it definitely has something to do with it. But I think that putting people off of this plane doesn't. We have to survive in this electrical system. We're electrical beings, okay? And this entire place is the only true forces on Earth are electricity and magnetism. Okay. And they're brother and sister. They go together. So I pulled this up for a reason. You asked me with the circumnavigation. Forget that.
We had Lauren Decker, 16-year-old from Australia, sailed all the way around the world, video it the whole time. It was all over the news and everything. This was years ago.
Awesome.
How did she get all the way around?
Yeah. So on the flat Earth, we have the magnetic north. I got some magnets right here. This is a little experiment you can do at home. Okay. First, the Earth is a pond. The shoreline of our pond is Antarctica. Captain Cook tried to go around Antarctica, which is like 10 to 13,000 miles, tried to just sail around down here. He went over 68,000 miles before he got back to where he started from. Does that sound like he's going around this little part? Or does that sound like he's going around here? The equator is halfway between the center and the outside. That's 24,900 miles. So 68,000 miles kind of makes sense right there, right? And when you look into ships and, doing their charting, they're off every day. They're off 10, 20, 30 miles off. They're like, our navigation isn't lining up to where we are. And that's because it's all stretched out. They compressed everything together. And we've broken it down, but it takes time. You can't just do it on this podcast. I'll show you guys where to find this information. But as Crow says, belief is the enemy of knowing. You believe I live in Connecticut. If I told you that, you believe it. But if you want to know it, you got to take the time and effort and look it up and figure it out and find my friends, find my high school. Yeah, all right, he lives in Connecticut. All right. But it's easier to believe. It takes no effort. So we got a magnet here. I got a compass here with my plane, my boat, whatever you want to say. So the needle on the compass is pointing towards the magnet, the magnetic north. Now I'm trying to push this compass west, but look at the magnet. A little hard to see. I got to keep turning to the right to maintain my heading of 270 west. So west is a circle directly around the center. So if I left here, I just got back to where I started from, and I maintained a heading of west all the way. Now I'm going to maintain a heading of east. East, east, east. Look at the compass point, keeping my north, right? East, east, east. Now, if I say, you know what? Fuck the compass. I'm going to dead reckon. So I got my stick pointing west. And as soon as I start moving, if I don't correct to the north, I'm heading south. South is every direction away from the north. South is that way. South is also that way. South is also that way. This is how a compass works. South is that way. Now, if I said, all right, on a globe, I should be able to go south and then pop up over here, right? But no one has ever gone south. Like from Santiago, boom, I'm in Australia. Never happens. No one's ever done that. South is south. Now, if I go north, I'm heading north. I'm heading north. I'm heading north. Now watch the compass. As I pass north, it just did a 180. Now I'm heading south. Every straight line is south. No matter what direction you point, every straight line is south. You cannot point west because you're pointing south. Hard one to wrap your mind around, right? So that's how you circumnavigate. Guess what? Billions of people have circumnavigated the world, east and west. 0 have done it south. Amelia Earhart, these are all of her stops. East, 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 east. She's gone right around, coming right back to where she started. Nobody has gone from Santiago over and popped up over here. All right. Have you guys looked into flight route, Southern flights?
A little bit. I know where you're going with that, where they can't. But see, I think that's because they're like Admiral Byrd and all that stuff. You know, back when there's, I think it's bigger and there's things on the other side of the ice wall, and that's why all this. I mean, everything you say, I get it, but I think it's just because it's larger, not because it's necessarily flat.
Things on the other side of the ice wall. All right.
Yeah.
What kind of things?
Other continents.
Okay.
Maybe other races.
Okay. And the other side of the ice wall on a ball or on a flat Earth?
On a sphere.
On a sphere. How big is this sphere?
That's the question that needs to be answered.
If the Earth is 100,000 times bigger than they tell us, then the sun has to be 100,000 times bigger, don't you think? These sizes make no sense. For example, in my app, the Flat Earth Summon Zodiac Clock app, I'm going to hit the color wheel, and here are some images. What if the world? So this is our world right here. Right? This is the shoreline, Antarctica, the highest land on Earth. And that contains our water, large bodies of water at rest lie flat. And it's contained. So what's out here? Guess what? Antarctica's off limits. You're not allowed to independently explore out there. You're not allowed to go there virtually. What? You can't go there virtually? Right? You go from, you want to pay a ton of money, $10,000, $50,000, $70,000. You go from Santiago, they take you to this peninsula over here to an island called Deception Island. It's right next door to Rothschild Island. Okay.
Oh yeah, right? Imagine that.
Yeah, imagine that. That's just a coincidence. All right. What if the world is set up like this? Flat Earth. This is our pond. Here's Africa, South America, United States, and out here is extra land. This is Antarctica. Maybe it's 1,000, 2,000 miles across. All right. And then out here is more land, extra terra, extraterrestrials. From where? From the outer space. From the outer space. Okay. So again, we don't need to prove the Earth is flat by speculating what's beyond Antarctica. We just want the right to go out there. I'm a big fan of this theory. I'm a big fan of taking this theory to the next level. What's that next level? Is this. Okay. What if the world, we lived here in the center of this pond, and here's some more land out here, more land, and this is the end of our pond. And then there's another pond and another pond and another pond, each occupying a piece of the plane, maybe a planet, a little piece of the plane, a planet, right? And so this could be the land of the Anunnaki, and this could be Mars, and this could be the Samaria, and you can have all different beings living on these other planets, which are just tens or hundreds of thousands of miles away, not ridiculous light years. Light years are dumb. Okay. light years are stupid and they're impossible. Okay. So how would they hide that? Okay. How would they hide that? And the way they hide it is just like this. Give me a second. Get rid of that. So what if there it is. So here's a map of the world. And what if you'd never left the United States? We got a little bit of South American here. We cut out this circle and we got rid of the rest of the map and we wrapped it around a sphere. And we taught kids in America, this is all there is. There's no such thing as Europe or Africa or Australia. We never even mentioned that. This is all that there is. There's no communication. We don't have telephones yet. Don't have airplanes yet. And they would never know. And they could do the same thing over there. And we could all be separated. And you're not allowed to explore this white dot down here that we'll call Antarctica. You're not allowed to explore that. Wait a minute. That's off limits. Why is that off limits? All right. So then we'll take this one step farther. What if we lived in that puddle world? Okay. That puddle world, right? And so the controllers know that we live right here in the center, right here. You're going to see United States. You see Africa, right? Here's our map. Boom. South America, right? Cut it out, wrap it around a sphere. And guess what? You're not allowed to explore south. You're not allowed to explore out here, right? This is where you live. This is all there is. You can't explore over there or you'll be stopped. And I'll show you how they do it, how there's 8 islands, the Falkland Islands and all. Remember that war? That was a weird one. And these are military bases that patrol these areas. And then there's a network of buoys out there. You can't get near Antarctica without being stopped. Okay. And why do they do this? Because this becomes a prison for your mind. Right? This is it. Yep. This is all that there is. You're in a prison. And if you're in a prison for your mind and you can't expand your thoughts and realize who you are, where you are, and the true power of your mind, you limit your true potential. And that's what they want.
Absolutely.
They can't take your free will away. They can't do anything. And they know about karma. Okay. It's all about karma. I'm living my highest and best purpose, which is to seek ultimate knowledge and share it with others. And I think that if everyone did that, this world would be a completely different vibrational place, and it would be absolutely amazing. But they want to keep us in fear. They want to keep us hating each other. They want to keep us fighting with each other. They want to keep us fighting with them because that strengthens their negative polarity, right? We're in a positive polarity. They're in a negative polarity, and they want us angry at anybody. Angry at sad. They want us fear. Oh my God, we're running out of food, running out of oil, running out of water. Asteroid's going to hit. Every friggin' NASA, right?
Yeah.
NASA, right? NASA, check this out, right? This is just
not a real space agency.
This is never a straight answer. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. There's an asteroid passing that's the size of 23 Bonzoni dogs. I never even heard of a Bonzoni dog. Then an article comes out, 22 tuna fish, right? All right. Then another one's coming by. It's 6 Darth Vaders. Okay. On Star Wars Day that happened, I believe. Right. Another one, 48 eggplants. Well, that one doesn't sound that dangerous. I don't know how big eggplants get. These are NASA articles. Okay. Here's one that's the size of 90 elephants. That one's dangerous. You should be scared. 90 elephants. That's going to destroy the whole world. Right. 787 matzahs passing over on Passover. Okay. This is mainstream. They're mocking you. They're playing at you. Yeah. They're playing at you. They're playing you, right? Right? Yeah. 69 alligators, 18 platypuses. Are you frigging kidding me?
So I have a question, Dave. I watched a movie on Netflix. It's probably been about a year ago.
Yeah.
And it was you might remember this when we were kids. That kid that tried to get enough Pepsi points to win the Harrier jet.
Yeah.
And the guy that sponsored him the money, they ended up at the end hiking or being in Antarctica, climbing one of the tallest peaks down there. So when they show us something like that, are they lying to us, or do you think they really got permission to go and do that?
They might have gotten permission to go up on a part of Antarctica, and it's highly controlled. And you're in the mountains. Like if you're 100 miles from something, you're not even gonna be able to see it. All right, especially if the weather's crappy. These are all the mountains. Now, remember, because they wrapped it around, the inside's really the outside. So why are these called Dome A, Dome B, Dome C? Why are they calling the mountains domes? Okay. Mm-hmm. If you unwind that, those are all the farthest mountains. You know that Antarctica, it's the highest land on Earth, and it has the highest mountains on Earth, higher than Mount Everest. Don't teach you that in school. Yeah. Okay. Maybe some people think that that's where the firmament comes down and attaches to these mountains. Maybe. I don't know. I think the sky's kind of flat. Again, I have no problem with people that think this is all that there is, right? I have no problem with people thinking that we're in a prison dome. I just want the right to go explore. I want airships back like they had in the 1800s. There was.
I'm with you. Yeah, I'd be the first one that lined up to go. I'm with you.
I plug this almost every show. Write this down. This is an Instagram channel, all one word. I'm the Improbable Dreamer. I'm the Improbable Dreamer. Watch his videos. He makes no claims. He just says, look at this, look at this, look at this, right? And his claim is we are the inheritors of a post-apocalyptic world. And that is a fact. Okay. Now, what caused this apocalypse? I couldn't tell you. There was a mud flood. That can only happen on a flat Earth, by the way. Don't know when it was. I think it was in the mid 1800s, maybe later. Okay. There's these resets that happen, and they happen multiple times. And then we inherit the cities that are already here. The Lincoln Memorial was here before Columbus allegedly discovered America. Right? Right. There's buildings underneath the buildings in Washington because they're buried in mud. Right.
Well, that's true. We've seen that. We've seen documentaries of that.
There's evidence everywhere. So people say, well, how come, there's no whistleblowers? There's whistleblowers everywhere. There's astronaut whistleblowers. There's military whistleblowers. There's whistleblowers everywhere. But if you're stuck with your nose in the mainstream media, you're never gonna figure it out. Let me plug my app for a second. And the reason I'm plugging my app is because this is where you can bypass YouTube's algorithm. Every day there's a new featured video here. Just watch it every day, and then you'll learn more. If you have questions, you hit the question mark button right there, and the top questions are here. Hey, what about seasons, right? Seasons actually prove flat Earth. Why would they lie? Hit that. Up come all the videos that YouTube's hiding from you, right? There's also all sorts of other resources in here. You scroll down right here, Flat Earth Experiments. Open up that, and there's that video on that photo I showed you, which absolutely proves the Earth is flat, and the science community is silent about it because they can't make up an excuse for this one. They can't say refraction. They can't say clouds. They can't say anything because it's not. It's because the Earth is flat, right? So these things are at the tips of your fingers. So when you're talking to people and they're like, well, what about, curvature and whatever, there's books. And as I was saying, there's books for kids, there's books for adults. This is a great book, Navigator Across the Ice Wall. I love it. You'll love it.
Isn't that the one Seth was reading that you guys were talking about?
I might have talked about it. I might have told him about it. Yeah, he might have been reading World Beyond the Poles. I forget. And then the Iron Republic. These are all amazing books. Okay.
It's
good.
It's I downloaded your app actually 2 years ago.
Oh,
I
nice.
was at an event in Dallas, Texas with a guy you might have heard of, David Straight.
Yeah.
And
I love David Straight. He's fantastic.
I've been to a couple of his events, and I was at this event, and on day 2, I was talking to a gal, and she was just like everybody else. She was the Earth is round, we're on a globe. Her husband turned her on to your app, and they turned me onto it, and I said, all right, I'll buy it. I think it was $3.99 or something. I downloaded it.
$2.99.
$2.99. It's been a couple of years, and literally went through it that night just in the hotel room and was fascinated by it. It really is a good app.
I appreciate that.
A ton of information.
And so we have the friend finder on here. These are just the people near me. I could send out a broadcast message to everyone in this circle saying, hey, we're having a meetup. We actually did that. 75 people showed up. It was fantastic. Wow. Right. But if we look worldwide, people are like, well, flat Earth is dying. There's really no flat earthers. We just broke 103,000 And this is just the infancy. It's just starting to grow. Look, that new user, someone just joined the friend finder. So this is the UK. Look at the UK. Look at this, right? These are flat earthers, and these are people, near you. Look at the United States. Look at this. The United States is going to be just a big blobs very soon, right? Just like its inhabitants, or most of them. So sometimes I get a little pissed off towards the end of the week. Okay. Australia, right? Tons of people, they're everywhere, and people are using this as a true friend finder, as a work, finding work and finding friends and finding dates, and people have gotten married from it. It's absolutely amazing. And then the profile section is being upgraded. This is going to be the new profile section where you can say, hey, I'm a male in a relationship. I'm interested in meetups. I actually have a job I'm offering. I'm looking for a job. These things will show up when you fill out the form. And then people can go on there, friend you. You'll be able to, in the near future, send out like, hey, I need someone to help me move. I need someone to work in my restaurant. I need someone to plow fields. I need somebody to do computer work, whatever. And you could send a message out to everybody that's clicked off, I'm interested in work opportunities. And then you could broadcast to them. And guess what? They're already awesome people because they're awake and they're aware. Right. They've broken out of the globe lie. I've never met a blue dot I don't like. Okay. I've never met a blue dot I don't like.
And did that blue dot that was down in Antarctica, was that real, or was he projecting himself?
No, that was absolutely real. He said he was projecting himself. And I went to my developer. I'm like, how can somebody project? He's like, it's absolutely impossible. He showed me how it works. So I said to the guy, okay, I'll send you a Bitcoin if you can put yourself at the North Pole. And then he went silent on me. He's still there. He's still there. And then there's another guy. Check this out. So this guy's at KC Station. We zoom in. He's actually right there, right? And then there's another guy on the outskirts over here. Where is he? Where'd he go? Is he gone?
Keep the tabs on you, bro.
Yeah, he's right here. And his username is It's Cold. That's kind of funny. I thought that's kind of funny, right? But he wouldn't communicate. So they might have said, you downloaded that app? We're going to kill you now. Who knows? Who knows?
Hey, so the terrain, when you zoom in like that, the terrain changes. And back in the 1800s, there's maps of Antarctica with no snow.
Yeah, I believe.
What do you make of that?
Yeah, I think that if you look at I'll just go into here while we're here. If you go down to, have you guys watched the Iwaranon stuff? Where this is now this is the moon map. I'm a big fan of the moon map now because there's some new information on it, but forget it. Let's say it has nothing to do with the moon, right? And everything, everything's a fractal of everything else. The moon, the stars, the sun, the lights in the sky, us, everything is part of this living system. So if the moon didn't have some sort of similarity to the Earth, that would be weird. That'd be weird. Okay. So here we are. This is our North Pole right here. So this is the shoreline of what we call Antarctica. And this takes a great year for our North Pole to wander all the way around, 26,000 years. So in 12, 13,000 years, our North Pole will be here. This will be melted, and this will be frozen. So that's how Antarctica would unfreeze. That's a possibility. Look at the Prague clock, the big clock in Prague that nobody can explain where it came from, how it was, how it's up there. It shows this. It shows how this works in the app. For those of you that are just waking up to this, right? I want you to hit the web button and scroll down to here. History, Iwaranon, the lost history of flat Earth. The first video is 5 hours long. People sent me the video. I'm like, I'm not going to a 5-hour video, right? And then more people sent it to me. I was like, you know what? I don't know when I'll get to it. And then one night it was like 11 o'clock. And I was like finishing up some stuff. I was like, let me just throw that on in the background for a little bit. 10 minutes in, I stopped doing what I'm doing. Next thing I know, it's 4 a.m. And I'm like, holy fucking shit. Right? Holy shit. Now, I'm not saying Iwaranon got everything right. He got a lot right. Okay? He got a lot right. And check it out. Again, don't believe anything. Don't believe anything. Another great thing is the homeschooling button. There's great sources of air. Crow. You guys are subscribers to Crow, right? Because
Yeah,
absolutely.
If you're not, I can't talk to you. Austin Whitsitt,
fellow Marine.
Do you follow Austin Whitsitt?
No, I haven't.
So his channel's called Whitsitt Gets It. He has a number of shows, but this one's called Schooling Globers. Okay, it's phenomenal. Kid is the smartest person, I'll say, on flat Earth, period, let alone in the flat Earth community. But he does a show called Schooling Globers. It should be called Schooling Globers and Educating Flat Earthers, because I learn from him every time I watch it. So I encourage people, check that out tonight. Watch the latest episode. I think it's episode 12. It's at the top of the list. Just watch it. You'll be addicted. You'll end up watching all of them. Okay. And there's all sorts of stuff in here. All sorts of stuff. All right.
All right, man. That's awesome. Well, we appreciate you coming on the program tonight and giving us some information about flat Earth and what you've been researching and doing. And
do you guys want to go like 2 minutes longer and play 3 questions of the trivia game?
Yeah, let's do it.
I've got plenty of time.
Okay,
yeah, let's do it.
I'll make it a little bigger so we can see. All right, so I'm going to do 2 players, me against both of you. All right, and don't think I've seen all the questions. Right. What is the land area that has the lowest elevation on Earth? Choices are the abyss, the Dead Sea, the Great Deep, or Sheol.
Echo, you got this one?
Would it be the Sheol?
Okay, and so you're player 1. I'm gonna say the Dead Sea, B, and the answer is B. So I win. That's 1.
The Dead Sea.
It's the Dead Sea. Who is considered to be the father of math? Aristotle, Arithema, Archimedes, or Plato?
I think it's Arithmia, B.
Arithmia. I'm going to go with something different. I'm going to say Archimedes, but I could be wrong. And the answer is, I'm right.
Oh.
All right.
I think that one was on Seth's show too, the Archimedes. That one sounds familiar.
Last one. Who first proposed the heliocentric model? Tycho Brahe, Aristophanes, Copernicus, or Socrates?
That one I don't know.
I don't know that one either.
I'm going to go with. I'm going to go ahead.
Let's go with B.
Yeah,
Aristophanes. I don't think so. I should know this. I'm going to say Copernicus. But either way, I won.
It's probably going to be Socrates.
I got 2 points. It is. No, I got it. Copernicus. Right. And so then I say end, and I got 100%. You guys got 0%.
Oh my God. Okay?
But this is how you educate yourself. If you have kids, you want to educate yourself, play with other people, play by yourself. It's a blast. And
quick question.
Go ahead.
Since we got, you said 2 minutes, so we got a few more minutes.
Yeah,
go back to that.
I go long.
So the opening in the ice wall. I mean, the first thing I think about is I want to jump on a sailboat and go find that opening.
Yeah.
Yeah. The problem with that is these are all of the bases. You got I believe this is the Falkland Islands, and you got all these other bases. And then, don't get me wrong, this is thousands of miles in between them. How do you occupy thousands of miles? And the answer is they have these buoys that are set off by waves, so they can actually track boats just by the pattern of waves. So that's how they do it. And you're not allowed to go there. And then even if they let you through, which they're not going to, then you have to hit ice cold water and frozen ice, and you need an icebreaker to get there. And then you get there and the friggin' land's 200 feet over your head. So now you got to climb an ice wall. There's nowhere to get fuel, nowhere to get food, nothing. I mean, you have to have millions of dollars worth of equipment and backup teams and everything. That's if they let you get there, but they're not going to let you get there.
The waves, I've seen boats go around the horn there, and the waves just around that horn are massive. If you don't have a decent sized boat, you're not going to get far.
That's there, I think. But when you get close to Antarctica, I think it gets super calm. I've never seen waves at Antarctica. When you're near the shoreline of Antarctica, it's like super calm.
Right. That's closer to the south, the tip of South America.
Yeah. So there you go. Tons of stuff. If you like memes, scroll down to the bottom. It's got to load. I just loaded the app. There's great flat earth memes. Some of the users contribute, and just go through them. That'll convince you the earth is flat also. So there you go. It's called the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. You can find it at flatearthdave.com. All my links are there. If you have a show or know of a show, go book Flat Earth Dave. Send me the information. Send me a request. We'll start a dialogue. End up like you guys did.
If you Nathan emailed you, and it's like you got back really quick. We appreciate it. This has been fun. This has been really good.
You know what? I don't really care. If somebody wants to learn, I'll talk to you guys. Who are you guys, right? But there's anti-flat earthers out there that their life mission, because either they're paid or possessed, they maybe sometimes both. They're out there just to discredit us, but they're horrible at it. They're just absolutely horrible. I mean, Nathan, what's your number one reason you think the Earth is a globe? Give me a reason.
I think it goes into like quantum physics and stuff too. It gets pretty complicated. I don't even understand it all, but
So wait, hold on. I got to comment on it. Michio Kaku says, in the world of quantum physics has never once predicted anything ever, and it's off by 10 to the 120th power. In science, when you're off by a factor of 2 or a factor of 10, it's considered horrible. But quantum physics is wrong by 10 to the 120th power. That's worse than the electrostatic forces over gravity. Okay. So if you say quantum physics is why you believe something, I don't know. I got a bridge to sell you in.
It's not the only reason. Yeah, right. There's all kinds of stuff.
You have another one?
But I mean, specifically, I believe that it's sphere because I don't know if I was in high school or college, but if you take a vacuum, an airtight container, you put a drop of water in there, you put a drop of sand in there, it condenses into a ball. I mean, if you think about atoms and molecules, why are they spherical?
One thing at a time. First, you've never seen an atom. Okay. I don't think anybody has. I think atoms are a theory, but that's another thing that we can't quantify right here. 2, if you put a drop of water in a vacuum, it does not turn into a sphere. And a drop of water has surface tension. Anything bigger, I say large bodies of water at rest lie flat. Anything bigger than a gallon will not turn into a sphere, and a drop of water won't turn into a sphere in a vacuum. It'll evaporate. You're talking about a drop of water in zero gravity, okay? Right. Because of what the ISS shows you, right? A drop of water will stick together, but those cubes, those balls of water, nonsense. That's all CGI. None of it's real. No one's on the International Space Station because there is no International Space Station. There is a light in the sky that they think is that you think is the International Space Station, but how do we see a plane and the ISS? They look like they're the same size. Wait a minute. Right. The moon is provably close, right? And then if you look at all the screw ups on the ISS, we don't have time to get into it. If you go on the app, frequently asked questions, go down to the ISS button, watch those videos. If you don't die laughing, you'll die crying, because your space is gone. It's just gone. It's dead. It's over. And they're all liars. Let me just show you. I've been showing this. I just showed this a couple times, and I want to show it again. They're mocking you. Okay. They're mocking you. SpaceX is completely and totally mocking you, and they're sexual deviants. Okay. Right. They love, just rubbing it in your face. This is a picture, first SpaceX picture. Sex in the clouds. Coincidence? Chemtrails? Let's just say it's weird. And then,
well, if you look at what Elon named his cars, it spells out what sex or sexy, the E model, the S model.
How about
E model?
SpaceX?
Yeah.
Sex, right? And then the rocket. This is the shot they give us. Okay, I'm just a pervert and I'm seeing cocks and balls, right? Then Jeff Bezos, his rocket. Does his rocket look like a dick or not? Yes or no? Okay.
The logo does. Yeah. The truck's going down the road. The logo looks like one.
Then Virgin Galactic looks like a woman's uterus. Okay. Right. And then Bezos, whenever the cameraman is watching, he is a very unstable camera, and the rocket does this. Okay. The rocket does this every single time on only his rockets. You see this. Okay. What is going on? Look. This is what they show us. What else can you possibly think, right? Gets worse. Okay. The first lunar landing mission profile from NASA. I don't know. Again, I'm just reading into things. And then recently, the astronauts complain that they don't like drinking coffee from a bag, and they developed this special cup, right? This special cup allows them to drink coffee in space. First, their mission logo patch. To me, this looks like a baby upside down in a uterus. That's just me, maybe. Okay. That gives you the women's private parts feeling. And then we look at she's drinking with a big smile on her face. If you watch it, also long hair in space. Can't have long hair in a friggin' swimming pool, right? No. But long hair in space. Look at her. She's having a great hair day. She works out 2 hours a day. Not allowed to take a shower. Only could do sponge baths. Her makeup's perfect and her hair flowing all over the place because she's in space, right? But we take a zoom in on the cup. What does that look like? What does that look like?
Oh,
okay.
Looks like it's Photoshop for one thing.
No, this is a vagina. Okay, it's even got labia. Okay, this is a vagina. Okay, they are literally laughing at us. They're laughing at us.
Oh yeah, I believe that.
Oh yeah,
that's right in front of us.
Yeah.
So about mostly everything. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, so
Absolutely.
People say, why the lie? It's all about control. It's all about taking away your divinity. It's all about making you a slave. You know, they're like, well, I'm only one person. I can't do anything. You know, I don't have any power. Yeah, you do. You have all the power, but they have you believing that you have no power. They have you believing in all of their rules and regulations, right? And only if you agree and sign your signature, they don't want you to know how powerful your signature is. They don't want you to know that you have incredible powers, and they can't break that. But they can trick you, but they have to tell you that to give you a fighting chance. They literally tell us everything. And once you wake up to this crap, you can see it all. And when you see it all, you unplug, they lose your power. They don't even care about us anymore. They're caring about everyone else that doesn't know, because they got to keep them in the dark. Okay?
Yeah. Yep.
And you know, if Flat Earth goes mainstream, goes viral, we're literally one tweet away from that happening. All governments implode. It's going to be phenomenal to watch. It's going to be amazing. Okay, there'll be some mayhem, but it'll be amazing mayhem, and the world will come together, and we'll take our world back, and take our freedom back, and take our power back, and get our free energy, and get everything. Right? Imagine if you don't have to pay for gas or heat or air conditioning or anything. Okay, imagine if all
you're
that
not supposed to.
Was free. Yeah, we're not supposed to. There's free energy. You can take a balloon and hang a wire from it, and there's electricity coming out of it. Okay, right? Everyone has a drone. Get some really thin wire, tie it to the drone, make it go up as high as you can, and I dare you to touch that wire. I dare you. Okay, I dare you. Okay, and they don't want you to know this stuff exists. You know, people stick these electrodes in the ground and they're pulling energy out of the ground. People put spools of wires next to railroad tracks and it picks up the electricity that's going through the wires. No, electricity doesn't go through wires. Electricity goes around the wires. Okay. Electricity is on the outside of the wires. Right. And these,
I think Tesla showed that.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Right. Yeah. And so again, why the lie? It's the most important thing. The app's worth it just for the why the lie. The app's $3, full disclosure. If you want to message people or play the games on there or use the profiles and view other people's profiles, it's a subscription for $11 a year. Quick question. Have you ever bought anybody a margarita in a bar?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, a few times.
So it's $11. And that's a crappy tip for the bartender, probably most likely. Okay, so it's nothing. It's really. I got
one for $4 today, so that would have been a great tip.
Oh, there you go, there you go. And another thing in the friend finder, you can hit the referral area, create a referral code for yourself. It'll give you a random number. Just edit it, and mine is DITRH. So anyone that downloads the app, if they use your referral code, you get a point. Your app does a little song and dance every time someone downloads it. And if you have 11 points or more, you can trade them in for a year subscription if you don't want to pay the $11, right? But people are like,
I think she had me do that when I downloaded it. I think she had me do that.
And then if you look at hit the leaderboard, let's look on the leaderboard. Man in America, his code is man, and he jumped up to third place from 0 to third place just from that show.
Oh, wow.
Right? And he's and you know how man was on a Flyover Conservatives, which is another show I did. Great show.
Yeah, that's a great show.
Yeah,
Right.
I did. We did a 2-hour show, and the recording didn't work, so we had to do it again, and we went 3 hours.
Oh.
Right? It was horrible. I wanted to kill myself, but it was actually a great show. And then Man in America was on their show live in studio, and they mentioned my show, and he's like, "Oh, you had a flat earther on? How stupid was that?" And they're like, "Well, here, watch the show." He watched the show. He called them, give me Dave's number, had me on. 2 weeks later, he's number 3 and a full flat earther. Okay, full on. You know, I'm not going to call him a flat earther. I'm going to call him a globe is a lie realist. Okay, he knows
there we go.
Yeah, right. All right, and it's kind of fun. This is kind of fun thing. It goes to the top 100 people that refer, and it's good. And these things turn into, you know, like we're gonna have events. We have, you know, different events. Maybe you get a free ticket. Maybe, you know, like Caleb here, the TikToker, he's got over 2,000. Might have to fly him to the next event, you know. So who knows? Again, I look at these as karma points, because my highest and best purpose is to seek ultimate knowledge and share it with others. If somebody downloads the app because of you, you just shared knowledge with them. You just helped unplug them from the Helio Sinister Trick Matrix. And that's good karma. That's good.
That's exactly what we're about here. That's what the show's all about.
And I can't prove it, but you got to prove me wrong. When your day comes and you're at the pearly gates and they're weighing, let me look at your chart. I believe that these points offset sins. Okay. I believe that God might look at it and go, you know what, you got 119. That's pretty good. I think we can forego the murders that you did and the robberies that you did. Maybe not that far. I'm just kidding.
Okay, yeah, that's a little much, right?
Just kidding.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so that's that. Again, flatearthdave.com. You can find everything there. And I encourage people, you think this is stupid? Come claim my Bitcoins. All right. Come claim them. Just give me one globe proof, but you got to watch the videos first. Because I'm not going to, you know, I get people like, oh, I saw your show and, you know, I'm not getting your app, but sunsets, you know, seasons, you know, I saw the sunset below the ocean. And then you never really looked into it and understood what you're seeing. Okay. And then, you know, because in the app, frequently asked questions, where does the sun go? Wow. Watch all those videos. Blow your mind. You don't even need to do the test yourself. I highly recommend that you do, but it's clear as day. It's clear as day. They just never taught you how to think properly. That's all, boys.
Right. Awesome. Thanks a lot, Dave, for coming on.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for being here too. And for All Aware and the Trance Network, I'm Nathan Roshan, and you are All Aware. Good night, guys.
All right. Good night.
See ya.